All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with another video. Guess who it's on? Greg Doucette. Man, the steroid gym lifting slave, recruiting lifting slave, yes. I'm going to review this video today, Broski Yaman. Let's see what Greg Doucette, Greg Douchebag says. What they don't show you about Eddie Abbew. Okay, let's see what they don't show us.
What he's saying is a bunch of lies, but not today. This is not what this video is about.
Okay, what's it about?
Coach Greg, in today's video, breaking news, Eddie Abbew finally comes clean. In the past, he basically said that your entire life, that everything that's wrong about it, it's because of what you're eating. That if you cut out the carbs, control your insulin, that you can essentially do anything and everything you'll ever want in this world, in this universe.
Well, when it comes to genetics, things it's a bit confusing. Yeah. You know, it's not genetics. If you change your diet, you fix your testosterone.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, where am I going to get all the eggs?
And so he says, you know, it's not genetics. If you, in fact, change your diet, you'll fix your testosterone. That if you can't accomplish...
He's telling the truth. That's true. Look, man, if you eat your natural diet, then you'll fix your testosterone problems. It's a known fact, okay? Go on your natural diet.
Your goals, it comes down to what you're eating. And so we've seen him say in the past,
It does. If you're eating sugar all day, carbs, which are sugar. They're all made up of the same molecules, man. Carbs are made and sugar are made up of the same molecules. And if you're eating that, you're going to have low testosterone, dude. And all the chemicals and everything else. And showering and all these chemicals and bathing and like estrogen and the tap water and all that. And showering in it. Yes, of course. It's going to add to it. That's the problem.
To control your insulin, that anything that you eat, it's all sugar, whether it's from rice, potatoes, or fruits, vegetables, whatever.
It is all sugar. It tells you that on online. Science tells you that. It's made up of carbon and whatever and some stuff there, whatever, okay? Oxygen and some other bullshit. Hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon, some bullshit, I don't know. It's all the same bullshit, man. They're all sucrose.
That's going to affect your insulin, and that is why you're not building muscle, why you don't feel good, and so on. He says that calories in, calories out, that's just make-believe. It's made up.
No, they're not building muscle because they're not damaging muscles. But anyways, yeah, okay, go on.
Shit. 70% of the advice he gives...
You mean why they're not building fake muscles? Because it's based on artificial diet, carbohydrates. Okay.
Is just not true. I'm not trying to hate. I was originally a fan of his until I started fact-checking his claims, and the majority of them are just not scientifically true.
Yes, they are. And where's your proof that they're not scientifically true? They are true. Who cares about science? They are true. Your natural diet is animal diet. That's it. That's your natural diet, okay?
Be careful.
That your dog's diet is natural too, animal diet, and your diet is animal diet too.
Careful not to spread misinformation, lads. Love the pod.
And he coached me, he's talking to me about eggs. You can actually eat so many eggs that there's some of the guys who are taking steroids. They wouldn't need to take steroids because eggs are that good at building muscle.
Really, Eddie? Really?
Protein doesn't build sarcoplasmic muscle, Eddie. This is where Eddie's wrong. He doesn't know anything about what builds muscles. So muscles are made up of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and that's an artificial type of muscle growth, and therefore it's energy, and muscles can hold a lot of energy in the form of glycogen, dude. Yes, that's right. So you're building phony muscles, yes. Now, if you damage muscles, that's really hard to do because muscles can only ever be damaged, what? In an unaccustomed, untrained, or unfamiliar state. They can't be damaged with a repeated bout. I'm sorry, man. It's just protected. Doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. And you're adapted coming to the gym, constantly lifting. And the only thing you're building there is sarcoplasmic muscles. You're not building myofibrillar growth. Sorry, man.
You're trying to tell us that.
So the muscles, they do not load energy in the form of protein. It cannot do that. Impossible. So it doesn't matter how many eggs you eat. It's the glycogen that will load in there. The mass of the muscles are glycogen, yes.
So if Eddie Abbew had only discovered this advice long ago, he wouldn't have to abuse steroids, insulin, all that, right? The best is...
No, he would still abuse it. He would have never grown. He's never tried. He's never even tried doing that. Try and do that. Try and build it with all those eggs. It's not going to build. It's not going to build.
When he says, do your research, and then when you do...
Unless, of course, you damage muscles, repair and remodel them. Remember, it's the protective effect. Once it repairs and remodels, it will protect muscle from any more muscle damage, from growing any more muscles. That's the adaptation process.
It goes completely against what he says. Remember, Eddie Abbew is the same guy that says that whey protein is shit, that supplement companies are selling you shit, that...
Yes, whey protein is shit and it's filled with sugar. If you go in there, all these protein powders are filled with what? Sugar. You want to know why? Why do they fill it with sugar? Because they know that the muscle cells fill up with what? Carbohydrates. It's not the protein that's going to build up your muscles in an adapted state. What's going to build them up is energy. Energy will blow you up like a balloon. They call it the balloon method.
Whey protein, it just doesn't work. But when you go to fact check that, you realize he's full of shit. That whey protein, in fact, has a higher biological value than even eggs. And so what he's saying is a bunch of lies. But not today.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a higher nutrient base than eggs. These protein powders, Greg, they're full of sugar. Eggs are not full of sugar, dude, or toxins or anything like that. So I don't know what you're talking about.
This is not what this video is about. Eddie is finally coming clean and
What is it about? What is it about? Coming clean?
admitting what the real problem in his health actually is.
I was a bodybuilder for a long time. I was taking the steroids, I was taking insulin, taking all the drugs. You don't realize that these drugs affect the wiring of your brain. You think you're okay, but you're not.
Yeah, they're really toxic. Why? How does that affect his health, Greg? I know people that smoke marijuana all day and drink alcohol all the time. They seem fine to me. Did it affect their health in any way, Greg? They're still drinking and smoking it. You're taking drugs, Greg. How's that affecting your health? Is that affecting your health too, Greg? You're on steroids and drugs and a whole bunch of other shit, Greg. How's that affecting your health?
And so to me, that is an honest message. He abused performance-enhancing drugs, for example,
I don't know if he abused them. He took them. Did he abuse them? How do you abuse drugs exactly? How do you abuse them? Are you abusing them too, Greg?
steroids and insulin, and eventually enough was enough. He said he was hanging around assholes, that he himself was an asshole, and he stopped everything since 2017. Now, I don't know if that means he's including HRT or not. I don't know if he's on these things, but what he's saying is it altered his mind. It made him think differently. The hardwiring, it was 100% different when he was abusing steroids versus when he wasn't.
Now I've come out of it and I'm trying to use my knowledge to help people. Bodybuilding was a stepping stone for me. I didn't realize how...
Yeah, he's got some experience and he learned something, of course. Oh, here goes the cookbook. Here we go with the cookbook.
And so all you young teenagers out there, and you're thinking, hey, I'm looking...
You know, he's always promoting the anabolic death book, man. You got to get out of here with that shit.
up to guys like Chris Bumstead and Sam Sulik, all the...
Chris Fakestead? Yes, Chris Fakestead. Yes, Sam Fakestead, Fake Sulik, and the rest of these guys, yes.
freaks of nature, guys with the most muscle. And you're thinking, I'm going to copy them.
Guys with the most fake fucking energy muscles, sarcoplasmic, blowed up muscles. Yes, okay.
They're making TikTok videos, abusing steroids, promoting and glorifying it. And Eddie is saying this is a horrible idea. Now, the one thing I don't like is in saying this, he's saying, well, if you eat a bunch of eggs, it'll build the same amount of muscle as if you're taking steroids. This is bullshit. It's not going to do that. But what is true is what he's saying that steroids did to him. I have many scars.
What does that have to do with this message about eating natural food, Greg? I don't understand this. What does this have to do with anything?
From bodybuilding, some are visible and some aren't. And what that means to me is on the outside and on the inside. It could be perhaps that his pancreas, that his insulin, that his body can't control blood sugar the way it used to, that he perhaps had to completely change his diet. But what I do know is that he has very high glucose levels and that he can't eat sugars. Everything is sugar now to him. That the way...
He has high glucose levels? I thought he's eating natural food. What are you talking about? Everything is sugar, Greg. Everything is sugar. It's sugar. You never won a bodybuilding competition, but you got a pro card, and so what? And so what?
He used to when he was a kid. Does anyone think that it's healthy that you can't eat fruits? That for some reason you can't have rice? That it's going to do something bad to your body? I know what it takes to get to the level I got to. Hell, I prepped many champions over the years. Now I won't even attend competitions. This is partly because the bodybuilding I knew back in the day was different. He can't even attend a competition now. Coach Greg, for example, I go and watch as many bodybuilding competitions as I can. Going to the Olympia, going to the Arnold's, attending local competitions. I have a passion for the...
Of course you go there because you're trying to mooch money off everybody, sell your stupid products and everything. That's why you're still hanging around there. Even though you're out of that scene, right? But you're there, right? They know who you are. You're a dealer, a steroid dealer. You got caught and everything. They jailed you and all that kind of stuff. What's going on here, Greg?
But I do recognize the dangers of taking and abusing performance-enhancing drugs.
Do you?
I needed counseling after I came off everything in 2017. Eddie Abbew was one of the best bodybuilders in the world. He was on the Olympia stage competing against Ronnie
Holy shit, he was still competing in 2017. That's crazy, old age.
Coleman. Do you not think it affected him mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically? Of course it
I
did.
don't know if steroids could build muscles. Where's all his muscles? Because they don't build muscles, bro.
And so let that be a warning to you. And so as much as he preaches this,
They build energy. They can absorb energy in the form of glycogen, a lot of it, especially testosterone, because when you inject it, you're a steroid user, you're injected. Look, when you starve, what's the first thing that goes up when you starve? Your testosterone and HGH goes up, the hormones. Why do they go up so sky high? Because they're trying to preserve you now. They're trying to preserve your muscle. They're how should I put it? They're recycling the proteins and the carbohydrates in your muscles and in your body everywhere to keep you alive. So what happens when you inject testosterone endogenously, some fake artificial testosterone in your body? Well, your body sees it the same way, like you're starving. Okay. But what happens in this case? You start eating. The difference is you're not starving. You start eating with high doses of testosterone. So instead of preserving what you have, it's now absorbing. It's absorbing. Instead of preserving, it's absorbing. It's absorbing a lot of glycogen because you eat a lot of carbohydrates. All of you bodybuilders eat carbohydrates. Donuts, chocolate milk, Coca-Colas, this, that, McDonald's, bro. And it's all fake sarcoplasmic muscle because it's all made up of sarcoplasmic, the fucking reticulum and the fucking cell and everything, the cytoplasm.
message about the diets is what's wrong with society, that if we just change the way that we
Well, like what does Greg say? Calories in, calories out. Energy in, energy out, dude.
eat, that we would solve all world's problems? Do you think maybe a little bit that just maybe it might have been the fact he was abusing steroids and insulin? If he had been a natural bodybuilder, remember, this guy has amazing genetics. He could have had an amazing physique without touching anything. And if he had done that, do you really think he would have needed all the counseling, that it would have affected his gut the way that it did? The effects of the drugs were insidious. You think everything is normal, but in reality, the wiring of your brain is compromised. I learned my lesson, and I'm not prepared to encourage others to risk their health. And so if Eddie is your hero, the man you look up to, guy's got over 3 million followers on Instagram alone. And so if you're looking up to Eddie, what is in fact his message? Yeah, he preaches to eat a healthy diet and so on, but really dig deep. He's saying don't use or abuse steroids. Don't use performance-enhancing drugs. And why? Well, look what happened to him. He appears healthy on the outside, but remember, he had to go to counseling, and he says he's got many scars that you cannot see. Perhaps they're mentally, perhaps they're in his organ health and so on. We don't know what his
Oh my God, man! It's like this. What's going on here?
blood work says. We don't know how healthy he is. This is my personal decision based on my experience. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone. I believe in destiny, and I know I'm supposed to use the knowledge I gained to help people. He's saying change your diet, eat healthy. Of course, do that. I'm sure he also knows it's important to do cardio. But what's also important and not...
Let me get this straight. It's important to do cardio, so it's important to destroy your heart. Is that it? You want to race your heart and increase the heartbeats and stress your heart so that you can possibly get a heart attack down the road. Damage your heart and shorten your lifespan. Okay, great. Yeah, okay.
to forget is to not lose sight of the fact that if you're chasing the dream physique, getting to Olympia and so on, then if you have to use or abuse steroids, then it's not...
Steroids do not build muscles. Science even tells you that. Damage builds muscles, or repairing and remodeling damage. The progenitor cell, the satellite cell, it builds muscles and food.
Worth it. I am still in the process of self-healing after decades of bodybuilding. He's still in this process. He's in his 60s. He hasn't used steroids for 7 years, yet is still in recovery. That is my reality. I don't expect anyone to understand. I understand it. I also abused steroids for over 10 years. Think of it. I also was a professional bodybuilder. Not as good as Eddie, but of course I understand what it takes to be at that level. To abuse steroids steroids. And so you might be thinking, yeah, you guys are old. We were once your age. We were once 15. We were once 10. We were once 20. And so we know what it's like to have gone through exactly what you're going through right now. There is life after bodybuilding. Make sure it's a healthy one. Not everyone gets to live that life. Many people, it ends it. Some people are lucky. They have amazing genetics. They can use steroids, and somehow they get out of it unscathed. They are lucky. But remember, you won't actually know that until you're gone. For example, I think, or I hope, that I didn't do much damage. But what if I die tomorrow? People making videos, Coach Greg, oh my goodness, look what happened. He was only 48. How do I know that I'm actually healthy? The blood work might say one thing, but in reality, perhaps it's something else. We've seen many people die early death. I don't need
That's true. I say Greg is going to die by 50, and so will Jason Blaha.
to name all their names.
Yeah.
But you know they're out there. And so would you want that happen to you? Make sure you're not dead before your time, because there have been too many deaths recently. And so the sad reality is, when he makes videos like this, really important videos that I respect, that all of us should respect, do you know what you get? Well, as of right now, under 4,000 likes and comments, 159. But when he makes a post, everything is sugar. That post right there, one that's completely ridiculous, that doesn't make any sense, that I don't even think he believes, 88,000 likes and nearly 6,000 comments. And so what do you think the algorithm is going to show you? It's going to show you the BS, the nonsense, the post that shouldn't be even there. And so what do we think? Well, we think Eddie Abbew is the guy that says, this is shit, wake the cookbook up. But the problem is, the good messages that he has are being outweighed by the bad. Hence, 70% of what he says is nonsense. If he only spoke about the 30%, we'd say, wow, what an amazing guy. But the problem would be, no one would have heard of him. You wouldn't know who he is. He'd be some old grandpa, 61 years of age, some former bodybuilder. You wouldn't even know he was a bodybuilder. And so what do you think Eddie Abbew is thinking? He's thinking, the only way to reach my massive audience of over 3 million people on Instagram is to make ridiculous posts. It's going to go viral. And he does that because then he can make another video saying, don't use steroids. He can open up. And so he's finally come clean. The problem, the sad
What? Okay.
reality is, you get famous by saying a bunch of nonsense, by saying the exact opposite is true.
He's telling you that sugar is bad for you. Eat your natural diet. I don't understand the message. I don't understand what Greg's trying to pull here. Greg's trying to promote his death book, and his death book is full of sugar. And so Eddie Abbew tells you to eat your natural diet, and that's threatening Greg Doucette's death book, anabolic death book, from being sold. It threatens his business. Yeah. And steroids. Don't do anything fake. Don't fake your muscles. So it threatens his supplement and steroid business, or whatever the hell he's doing there.
Look at Sam Sulek. Originally he got famous on TikTok, making videos saying you need to ego lift in the gym, not to listen to anyone smarter than him. Y'all forget that, because now he speaks and he makes sense. And so when you watch my videos, you're thinking, oh, he's just drama. All he does is put people down. Do I really? Have you watched all those videos? Because if I were to pick my top 1,000 videos, you would say, I can't believe how nice this guy is. But you're not shown those messages, or you don't click on it. You're clicking on natty or nots, you're clicking on perhaps drama videos, and you're forgetting about the message that I'm sharing. Messages of not abusing steroids, to eat healthy, to get
Messages? Okay.
exercise, to care about your mental and physical health, but you don't watch that. And so hopefully you've
I do. I am watching it.
watched this video till here, that you're still listening right now, and you've heard Eddie Abbew's message, which is don't use steroids. Because if you do,
This
it's
is way too long.
a builder to help you build muscle. Of course,
See, Acti Builder to build muscle. What else? Creatine?
creatine, it's actually 50%
See, creatine to build more phony muscles, put energy into the muscles, make some more phony muscles. Yes, okay.
off on the website. We have so many other, and if you enter
Acti Builder only works if there's some sort of damage in your body, maybe surgery or something. There's a micro injury, a cut or something. The Acti Builder, they use it in some hospital somewhere in Tajikistan or something. They use it for that these purposes. So they don't work in people that are adapted, that aren't damaged in any way, that don't have a micro injury or something or a cut. Sorry, man.
code Greg, you're going to save yourself
And creatine, that's already in meat, and that's nothing. Creatine just blows your muscles up with water, gives you energy to work harder than the last time, to make you a slave. You become a slave to accustomed exercises by taking creatine. Yes, okay.
15% off. If you have no money, get a loan and buy everything.
I don't want to be slaved to accustomed exercises, okay? I don't know. Maybe all you do, but not me. Anyway, so think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one. Eddie Abbew, so what? He took steroids. Steroids don't build muscles, man. See you in the next one. Ciao, dude.